One play can define a college football player's career and can be the reason that they're remembered forever. But behind every big play is a player who has a story, and one of those players is Grant Haley. Most of y'all will remember Grant for the amazing run-back field goal he had against Ohio State back in 2016, which effectively sealed the game for Penn State. However, since then, Grant has had somewhat of an underwhelming NFL career after going undrafted in the 2018 NFL Draft. Today, we're going to go through that career and find out exactly what prevented him from having a more productive career. Guys, before we get into the video, I would really appreciate it if y'all like this video and subscribed if you enjoyed the content that I put out. It helps a lot and it only takes a second. Now let's get into the video. Grant Haley attended Leavitt High School in Atlanta, Georgia, and did everything for his team. As the starting running back, cornerback, and kick returner, he was a difference maker in every game. In his senior season, he had 1,420 rush yards and 23 touchdowns. And on the defensive side, he had 6 interceptions. So he was a playmaker to say the least. Grant was given a 5.6 rating by Rivals.com and was a 3-star corner coming out of high school. He was offered by schools like Florida, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt, and on July 23, 2013, Grant decided to commit to the University of Vanderbilt. Fast forward about 6 months, and he takes a visit to Penn State, and on the visit, all on the same day, Grant decommitted from Vanderbilt and committed to Penn State. I don't know what he saw at Penn State that made him make such a sudden decision like that, but whatever it was, it must have had a pretty big impact on him because you don't just make big decisions like that. So Grant enrolled at Penn State on June 30th, 2014, and thus began his college career. In his freshman season, Grant had only 18 total tackles and a pick 6, but he was also the kick returner and had 659 total kick return yards, but no touchdowns. Nothing too special, but then again, it was his freshman season, so it's not like anything too big was expected out of him. The next season, Grant had the best statistical season of his college career, racking up 42 tackles and 2 interceptions. And when you account for the fact that he played in 2 less games than he did his freshman season, it's even more impressive. In his junior season, his numbers slightly declined as he had 39 tackles and no interceptions, but he did play in only 10 games that season, so you also have to account for that. However, during that 2016 season, Grant made a play that he will be remembered for forever. With about 4 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game, Ohio State was up by 4, and they were lining up for a field goal that would give them a touchdown lead. But the field goal was blocked by Marcus Allen, and Grant Haley scooped it up and took it back for the touchdown. That play effectively sealed the victory for Penn State against the second-ranked Ohio State. That win propelled Penn State into an unbelievable season in which they went on to become Big Ten champions, beating 6th-ranked Wisconsin. Moving on to his senior year, Grant finished the season with 40 tackles, 2 sacks, and 2 interceptions. Not very different from his sophomore or junior year, but it is good that he stayed consistent throughout his final 3 years in college. At the end of that 2017 season, Grant was an All-Big Ten honorable mention and was a Jim Thorpe Award semifinalist. For Grant's career, he had 139 total tackles, 2 sacks, and 5 interceptions. Going into the 2018 NFL Draft, Grant was predicted to go around the 5th to 6th round, and some of the upsides that scouts and analysts were pointing out about him were first and most impressive, his lateral quickness. He posted an impressive 6.51 in the cone drill and also ran a 4.44 40-yard dash, and had 15 reps on bench, which for his size is pretty impressive. They also praised his ability to play the nickel corner position with his size and quickness. Although his size in some areas was a strength, it was also a weakness in other areas. For example, scouts are saying that because of his size, he may be more likely to get run over by bigger backs. They were also saying that he didn't have very good recovery speed and wasn't very good at turning and finding the ball when his receiver was targeted. Grant ended up going undrafted in the 2018 NFL Draft, but signed with the Giants as an undrafted free agent. In his first year with the Giants, Grant had 27 total tackles. He appeared in 10 games that season and started in 9 of those. But in the regular season finale against the Cowboys, Grant unfortunately sustained a concussion and missed the rest of the season. He would bounce back though, and in his second season in the league, he appeared in 15 games and had 42 total tackles and 1 sack. He only started in 3 games that season, but he had a lot more tackles and a sack to go with it, so it was a very productive year for Grant. His performance that season earned him a 1-year extension with the Giants that he signed in early February of 2020. This was sadly the peak of Grant's NFL career. In September of 2020, the Giants decided to cut ties with Grant. However, he was picked up by the Saints about 3 months later and was kind of on the line between the 53-man roster and the practice squad. He was originally signed to the practice squad, but about 3 months later, due to Janoris Jenkins being out with a knee injury and Patrick Robinson being questionable, Grant was promoted to the active roster for 1 game, and then immediately put back on the practice squad after the game. As of now, Grant remains with the Saints, and maybe we'll see a resurgence in his career. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if y'all hit the like button and subscribed. Besides that, until next time.